and welcome back to Nelson All Over Cards. Today we have a bonus draft video. Typically we do a draft video to promote the next episode of Shadow of the Cast. Shadow of the Cast is already published at this point, so you can go find that episode. I'm saying this, I hope it is actually. Something editing may have gone, or we may have lost the recording, and that would be really sad. But I am banking on it already being out, and we wanted to do another draft because we have so much fun with these, and we could not decide if we wanted to do a draft on Avenger Allies, which is the previous draft, or a draft of Wave 1 cards. So we're going to do both. Today we're drafting Wave 1 cards, and there's a lot of really good ones out there. I'm here with Villain Theory. You ready to pick some of these Wave 1 cards?
No, there's too many good options. Let's just pass on this, yeah?
Yeah. I was going through, I was reading all of these Wave 1 cards. The one caveat that we will say is that we're excluding Avenger Allies from this list because we just drafted those. We did not want to double up. And so I was going through, I was like, there's going to be, a hot contention of, top 10 here. And I think there could be 20 or 30 that could really be viable picks for a draft. And it's gonna be interesting to see where you take it and see if we differ, as well as which one of these cards we miss, because I really think that we're gonna leave off some really good cards because we only get 10 of these.
Yeah. Normally when I'm thinking about the draft, I'm trying to prepare, 9 or 10, just so I've got options if Nelson tries to steal all my options, which I clearly thought of first. No. But for this one, I'm up to like 16, 17. I'm like, oh, what do I choose here? So it's going to be interesting. Really curious what you guys think. As long as you think my list is better.
Well, probably not, because I think I'm due for a win here. But we are going to be continuing and doing the snake style draft. One of the other things that I'm curious about, and if you want to provide feedback, is do you prefer the snake style draft, which is what we did in this and the previous draft, or the back and forth draft, which is the first two? But we're going to be doing a snake style draft. Villain, you drafted first last time. I'm going to draft first this time. Then you're going to take your first and second pick, and then we're going to bounce back, taking 2 picks at a time. This first draft pick, I think, is tough. There's so many really, really good Wave 1 cards, and I'm going to land on just a core set card. I think, you took a lot of multiplayer, good cards for multiplayer last draft with our Avenger Allies. And this card works well in solo and in multiplayer. It's going to be Maria Hill. I got to take Miss Maria Hill turn 1. That 2-cost leadership ally, 2 thwarts. Everyone gets to draw a card. If you're playing a 4-player game, everyone gets +1 card. That's 4 extra card draw with a block. It's when she enters play. It's not when played from hand. You can make the call. You can rapid response. You can get her so many times, and one of my favorite times ever playing this game. And so this may be also a little bit of a nostalgia pick, is playing that Maria Hill recursion and just passing cards out to people, because there's no better saying in Marvel Champions than everybody draw a card.
Yeah, Maria Hill's a really good pick, and that's interesting because to me, Wave 1 has actually been after the core set. I haven't necessarily included the core set in Wave 1 in my thinking. So that's interesting. So I might need to amend my list here, which is really, really interesting. Okay. But I'm definitely going to stick with my original pick in return. But yeah, Maria Hill, you can't go wrong with Maria Hill, especially in multiplayer. The value is kind of ridiculous, So in terms of power, I gotta give you that one. But I'm just gonna go into my first pick, and I get to pick 2 now in the snake draft, I believe.
Pick 2, yeah.
So I'm going to go for a card that is, I think, powerful, but my pick isn't all about power. This card, I think, single-handedly redefines an entire aspect. Ooh. And if I had to look at this list and pick any one card that I'd want to make sure I had in my collection, it's got to be this card. So, for me, this is actually Unflappable. So one cost protection card. If you defend and take no damage, draw a card. I just think this card was such a game changer for protection, and helps solve a lot of issues, because typically defending is not as valuable as attacking or forwarding. You can't react to the board. You can't win a game by defending. Put it that way. But getting a card back for your troubles is really powerful. So yeah, what do you think about Unflappable?
I I think it's an incredible card. I'm a little sad because that's one of my favorite cards in the entire game that you just took away from me, and I feel like I did that in the first two drafts. I just kind of took a pick that I was kind of hoping would hurt you on like a meta level,
What?
and so I feel like you just did that to me. And so really good archetype or aspect of finding card. Honestly, Unflappable, fantastic pick. Good first round pick.
Mm. I'm a little bit offended because you took Storm from me in the very first draft, and I still bear the scars from that choice. And to know you did it, try and that's just it hurts me on an emotional level. But I'll survive, even if I have to call my therapist or something. No, no. That is a little pun that is going to lead into my next pick
Okay.
because my third pick, well, our third overall pick, my second pick, is going to be Make the Call. If we're
Yeah.
including core set cards, I've
Yeah.
got to go here.
Yeah.
You did this. I wasn't going to touch the core set, but you did this. So we're adapting on the fly with a Make the Call.
Yeah.
Maria Hill's good. What if I could just replay her multiple times?
No, I already have her.
So,
You can't have her now. You can
well,
make the call anybody else but not Maria.
I potentially got her, Maria 3 times per deck cycle, and the strength of Make the Call is not that it can get you an ally, it's that it can get you your best ally on repeat, or it can get you an ally of the right cost to efficiently spend your hand. So kind of like a resource sink. I think those cards are really valuable. So yeah, I gotta go with Make the Call there.
Yeah, excellent pick. That was probably going to be my third pick here, and so no argument from me here. I mean that's a fantastic card, a staple in pretty much every single leadership deck I built. I look to take that out rather than add it in when I'm building leadership. So I respect that pick. I respect it. Moving on to my second and third round pick. For my second pick, I have to go with something with Doctor Strange. And I was trying to figure out what invocation card to pick. There's a lot of really good ones. He has that deck of 5 uber efficient cards, and they're all good for different situations. And so I think that the better pick here, and what I'm taking as my second pick, is actually Master the Mystic Arts, which is the card that allows you to play the top card of your invocation deck, which in itself is just another iteration of that card. So of the invocation deck, and you also don't have to discard it. So if Winds of Watum is on the top, you get to keep Winds of Watum and you get to, use his action to play it again. But it's a flexible card that allows you to, be able to play that key card. And now that we have Cosmo nerfed, which we talked about a little bit in our episode, that you don't get to cycle that as quickly. Now you still can really cycle it very, very quickly, but when our Master of the Mystic Arts allows you to hit whatever invocation is on the top of your deck multiple times.
Yeah, that's good. It's a powerful card, It's Doctor Strange though. I think picking Doctor Strange stuff early is kind of a lame kind of move there. I definitely wouldn't do that in the first episode. But yeah, I mean that's really powerful. As are all his invocations, In some regard, my whole list could be his invocations.
Yeah.
And it's good. It's very strong.
It is really strong.
I like it to say. Yeah, so I think that's an all right pick. Kind of whatever. Where do I?
Oh yeah. Or I still have another pick here. That's my second. I get my first third round pick. I like card draw. Cards in a card game is good, and so another core set, also Black Widow, I believe, is the ally Nick Fury. Nick Fury comes in. He has I think it's actually a forced response, which I think is hilarious. You have to choose one of these. You can either draw 3 cards, and I think there are 2 other options, but really most of the time we're looking at that card draw where cost 4, you put him into play, you get to draw 3 cards, so it's a rebate. He has a 2/2 stat line, so you can hit that thwart, you can hit that attack, and then he gets discarded at the end of the round, but really he's probably not surviving until the end of the round because you can chump block with him, which just leads to a ton of flexibility. Nick goes in so many of my decks even still today, and even if I don't want the card draw, I can use him to finish off the villain with, throwing 4 damage at the villain for that final push. If I need that extra little damage, he can come in and deal 6 damage to the villain, which in a solo game is a good chunk, probably a third of that villain's health. And I don't think I've actually ever used the remove threat from him, but I still think even if you had the 2 options, I still think Nick is one of the more powerful cards in this game.
Yeah, Nick's really interesting, and it's interesting how at the start of the video you said no allies in this one, no allies,
No, I
and
said no
now,
Avenger allies.
well, that's not what I remember agreeing to before.
Oh, really? I'm sorry.
No, it's all good. It's all good. Nick is really strong. I like that pick a lot, and I like the way you described using his damage option. I really think that is really cool. So yeah, I like Nick Fury. He's the very convenient card. If you ever need more options, he's going to be there for you and have your back. Um, yeah, really really good card. And I've now got to try and counter Nick Fury and a Doctor Strange card, which is going to be interesting. And I think I'm going to have to go for a core set card in return. And I think it's time to unleash my secret weapon.
Uh-oh.
And this is your fault, Nelson. You brought the core set into this. I didn't want to do this. You can take your pick. I guess I'll pick my favorite one based on its use. But that is going to be the Strength Resource card. The basic resource cards are so good. Think about how many decks you might include Nick Fury in. How many decks do you include the double resources? You know, these are arguably the most used cards in the entire game, and that's not a coincidence. There's not, it's not, an accident that's happened. They are unbelievably good, and I could have picked any of them, but I think Strength hits the most cards. You know, Aggression really loves getting those physical resources. I think more than any other aspect likes getting, Justice getting mental, or Protection getting energy. So yeah, I got to go for the Strength resource card.
Interesting. Yeah. And that's a really good pick. I'm trying to figure out if like do I just take a double and counter that pick, or how does that work? How does that play into anything? I guess I get to see one more of your picks before I make that call. Pun very much intended there. Um but yeah, I mean the doubles are good. The doubles are fantastic. And so it's hard to create a wave one list without including those. So good pick. Good
Yeah.
pick.
So, do I now include another one of those so I can have two of those? Uh, but I feel like that's going to be a little bit, unexciting, and I like excitement. So I'm going to go for, I think, an unusual card, but a card I really, really like. And this is a signature card. This belongs to Miss Marvel, and it's an event. And this
Mm,
is Wiggle Room.
yeah.
This is a zero cost card that draws you a card. I mean, I like the maths on that. Maybe I should say the math over here. And yeah, just so good. So not only does this zero cost card draw you a card, it prevents free damage. And for Miss Marvel specifically, she can bounce it back to her hand. But I think any hero would love to have this card. Take less damage and get another card back in return. It's a
Mm.
no-brainer. It's such a good card.
Wiggle Room is one of my favorite cards in the entire game to play, just because you can recur it, same response window, play it again. You're preventing 6 damage at that point, and you get to draw a card. If you have Unflappable, you get to draw another card. I mean, it's just it embodies fun, and I think that's really good. Wiggle Room actually, even though I think it's more fun, I still think that the better pick, and actually, this is not a hate pick at all. This is not a counter pick, because this is actually on my list, is Backflip from Spider-Man. What's better than preventing 3 damage? Preventing all the damage. And that's what Backflip does. It's a zero cost card, prevents all the damage. You don't have to exhaust to bring this back. You can grab this, you can hold it, but then you're +1 card. So you do get that wiggle room with Spider Man's ability, the Spider Tingle ability. So you're getting that card draw. So it's kind of built in. I'm reaching. But Backflip, preventing all that damage can be a lifesaver. Like, I've been attacked with some of these higher, like Ronins or Thanoses. I've been attacked for like 9, 10, 13 damage. Backflip, no thank you. Pass. Unsubscribe. No damage. And that's just a real feel good feeling for me, is Backflip, just to prevent all the damage.
Yeah, Backflip is a very strong card, but I don't know if we can really consider Spider-Man's hero ability to be part of that card specifically, but
No,
it
that's
is
fair.
good. It
That's
is a
fair.
good combo. And the cool thing is when Spider-Man's hero ability draws Backflip at the perfect time, because that actually goes first. So I am a big fan of that. That's really cool. Wiggle room, though, in most attacks, there are exceptions, but most attacks, would you rather take, 3 less damage and get a card, or take none and not get a card? That would be my question. How many attacks go that far above 3 to justify not taking it? So I think they're actually kind of even in many ways, and there's different pros and cons.
Yeah.
But one of them is described by a very wise man as were very fun. Maybe his favorite card, to play. I think it was. So, you know, uh, you make your own decisions as a viewer, of course, guys.
Yeah.
I'm really trying here, but yeah, that was good. That was a good
Ooh.
card.
And my fifth pick, it really is hard not to just take energy here, but I feel like energy is like a just a really solid, or like the doubles are just a really solid pick. I think they should put him on, that they need to be on this list. But at risk of not doing so, and in risk of just having a more fun list, I think we are gonna go. There's so many good cards. We're gonna go. I think I have settled on. We're gonna go with Wakanda Forever. Wakanda Forever is the one cost Black Panther event. He's got 5 of these, and you get to trigger the special ability of every single one of your Black Panther upgrades. At 1 upgrade, this is slightly below efficient. At 2 upgrades, we are looking at good efficiency. When we have all 4 of those upgrades out, I mean, we're looking at some incredible power coming from the Wakanda Forevers, which are really easy to pay. He's a really, really rich hero, and Wakanda Forever just has such an impact on the game state and is so very flexible. You can clear so many things whenever you play Wakanda Forever, and then you just get them back with his ancestral knowledge. And just, I love Black Panther. I've been having a lot of fun with Black Panther recently and some of the new cards, and this is a whole nother topic. But Wakanda Forever, 5th round pick. I think I'm going to take that over a double.
I think that is maybe not better than a double, but more fun. So you took Storm from me in the first draft. You took Wakanda Forever from me now. If you guys have watched my, I did a video. I did a video on my top 15 favorite heroes, and I'll spoil it. Storm was near the top, but I also talked about my favorite cards with each hero, and Wakanda Forever I described as perhaps one of all my top couple of cards in the entire game. I just think Black Panther was the first character I ever played, and yeah, just getting all those things when you play it in order is such a cool feeling. It's really really cool, and I'm gonna even bump your pick up a little bit. I think even with 1 upgrade in play early, some of them, his claws and his vibranium suit, I think that's worth the cost. I don't think
Yeah.
that's undercosted at all. I think that's really good.
Yeah.
So yeah, I really like that Wakanda Forever pick.
Oh my goodness. What are you going to round out and finish your 5th pick to finalize your 5 best wave 1 cards?
I have so many choices here, and I'm freaking
There's
thinking
a lot.
you don't have any more choices to pick here, right?
No, I don't.
So I can kind of talk about it. Things I've got on my list are, Helicarrier, Quinn Carrier, Rapid Response, Strength in Numbers, Hulk Smash. There's
I
even
didn't have Hulk
more.
Smash, but I had 4 of those. Yeah.
I think Hulk Smash is fun and cool.
Yeah, it
but
is. It
yeah,
is.
which one of these do I pick, guys? I'm gonna pick one, and everyone's gonna be, oh, he should have picked the other.
Yeah,
And I
right.
probably should have. I've got to go for. Oh, they're so good. They are so good. I'm gonna go for Strength in Numbers. I'm gonna go
Yeah.
for it. 1 card, whole new archetype. Still one of the strongest in the game on almost any character. Which maybe, yeah, in some ways maybe a little bit boring, but it's so useful, and it's a card that draws you more cards. That's what it exists for. A Strength in Numbers deck. You'll get to play more of your identity cards than almost any other deck because you're just going to see them more often. So you get more of your hero if you build into Strength in Numbers. So yeah, I got to go with Strength in Numbers. I kind of love it. It's very fun.
Strength in Numbers is a phenomenal card. I really like the pick. It's good. There's so many good cards. The other couple, you got to mention a couple of your uh, choices. I'm curious if any of these. I had Energy Barrier as one of my backup options. No,
I like it, but no.
I really like Energy Barrier, and then the other one that I really liked was Under Surveillance for that solo play, getting that additional threat cap or threshold. But I think that there's going to be a lot that we're going to hear from the viewers of cards that we missed, because there are a lot of really good wave one cards, which I think speaks to the balance of the game, that they've been able to have these older cards still be consistently good throughout the entirety of the production of the game. And so let us know two things. One, who drafted better? Did I draft or did Villain draft better? Let us know in the comments. And two, what cards did we miss? What cards do you think should have been on these list? And let us know down there. But Villain, these are always so much fun. I appreciate you all hanging out. Go check out Shadow of the Cast. That's going to be on Villain Theory's channel. All that information is going to be down below in the video description. But until next time, I'll see you later.
See you guys.
See you.